Okay, perfect. Let's roll.
Hi, my name is so-and-so, and I'm a comedian. No, I'm Wes Martens. Glad to see you. Nice to be here.
And how long have you been doing comedy? And how did you get into it? Or what made you want to get into it?
Well, first of all, by the looks of me, you might be thinking I've been doing my comedy my whole life. But I've actually been doing this on stage for 11 years now. I started doing comedy when I was 53, which is like insane, right? But that's when stuff started to get funny. You know?
So what made you decide to try stand-up comedy?
Oh, I had been doing some community theater, and then I got into improv. You know, and improv is everything that's off the top of your head, and everything is off the top of my head. Okay, but with your improv group, you can only get to perform maybe 2 or 3 times a month, you know, and it's with a bunch of other people. And so stand-up comedy would let me do some of my gaggy stuff anytime I wanted to.
What do you think is some of the biggest mistakes new comedians make? I know there's a whole list of stuff, but some of them.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was proposing to the DC Comedy Writers Group like a primer course, because I see comedians doing a lot of the same wrong things. Like, number one, mic technique, but you can put that aside because that's just mechanics. But they tend to tell the audience what they're going to do. Don't tell the audience what you're going to do. Just do it. You know, don't back up on. Commit to it, right? Make a commitment to your jokes. Like, it's the funniest thing that they ever heard, right? But so many comics, they I don't know how censored this might be, but it's like they do a narrative of their bullshit life, you know? And it's like, and you're always thinking to yourself, is there a punchline in our future here? Are you just naturally hysterically funny all day long and we want to hear about it? You know?
So what do you think are some of the other common mistakes you see with newer comedians?
You know, it was one of the funniest, one of the first things that I learned in comedy from my comedy mentor back on the West Coast. Nothing inherently funny comes out of a bodily orifice, with the exception of the occasional fart joke. You know, there's always room for a fart joke. But people tend to go gross. I see a lot of young female comedians go extremely dirty for shock value.
Yeah.
You know, and there's like no thought to a clever punchline or you know, a well-constructed joke.
What advice would you give someone who was thinking about trying stand-up comedy?
I would say read some books on joke writing. Understand what the whole idea behind setup and punch is. You know, and most of setup and punch is like, you know, the setup, and then there's surprise, because you take the audience in a different direction. And be clean. Write yourself 3 minutes of material, and then take it to any possible open mic that you can get to. And if it feels good, keep doing it over and over and over again. And certainly add new material, you know. In spite of, I'm coming up on, and it's no great accomplishment, I don't think, but I'm coming up on 1,000 performances. And a lot of them were in front of 6 people at a bar, you know. But sometimes they can give you the best validation of all because they're very intimate. So.
Who are some of your influences in comedy?
Oh, you know, sometimes I wonder why I started doing comedy. And then I think back to when I was a little kid, my dad would let me stay up late and watch Johnny Carson, Jack Parr. Anybody remember Jack Parr? They had guys on like Jonathan Winters. Lonesome George Goebbels, you know, and my dad was not particularly funny, and not on purpose anyway, and he seemed to think it was important for me to watch these guys. George Carlin, you know, some of the old school guys are that I remember very well.
Do you notice a common theme among comedians, like certain personality traits, certain personality type?
Well, no. A lot of people think, well, comedian, they got to be the life of the party, right? Myself, I'm a relatively shy person. You think that comics are all big extroverts. No, I think comics are, by and large, more cerebral and private off the stage. They're not yelling jokes and screaming and carrying on. Next question. You're thinking of them as fast as you can.
Yeah, no, and I just want to make sure I give you a chance to answer. How can people follow you on the internet or Twitter or Facebook?
Well, these days it's pretty easy. Facebook is
a website.
Yeah, and websites are cheap, right? I mean, if you're going to invest in this and if you're going to have a presence, then you have to have the legitimacy of a website at least, right? Film your sets and put them up on YouTube, and of course Facebook. I use Facebook for the networking. I find out about other comedians, find out what they're doing, and just go to all those open mics. Get a business card. I'm very happy with my business card, but I came out here to the East Coast, and nobody seems to have a business card. And it's like the cheapest thing you can buy, And it's kind of like, you have a business card, you're legitimate, right?
You can be anybody you want to be.
Yeah, you can make
put it on a card.
You put on your business card, auto mechanic. Then you can walk into supply stores and get discounts on auto parts, right? Because now you're a business, you're an entity,
So, any last thoughts before we wrap up?
I always think of things that my early mentor. I took a comedy class and I took the class just to say that at one time I performed on the improv stage, because you take a 6-week course, you write material, and you get to perform it right in a real improv club in front of all your family and friends. And I thought to myself, well, gee, now, do I take that ceramic ashtray home and put it on my mantle and say I did this one day? And I just kept doing it, But the one thing I always remember about my mentor is he said, if you can develop a half hour of funny, that's the operative word, funny, clean material, that you can work anywhere and make a pile of dough. That's his exact quote. He always talked about the pile of the dough.
And what's your web page again?
I'm at wesmartens.com. Now, that's Martens, because everybody calls me Martens. They bring me up to the stage. Hey, we have this fella, Wes Martinez. They always get it wrong. There's Wes Martenizing coming up to the stage.
And that webpage again is
wesmartens.com.
awesome. Hey,
Thanks, Romeo. Appreciate
it's always
it.
a pleasure, man. We keep
Thank
running
you.
into each other.
Yeah.
I'm not stalking you.
No. I'm the stalker. I'm the stalker. Yeah, I came out to support John because I'm going to do this show in a couple of weeks.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
You know,